Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, B Funk. Thinking right out here in the lab where I do what I do for you. I got a nice little lesson for you today. You know, it's all about meditation and knowing how does meditation work. I'm gonna break down understanding the process of meditation, and it's all get done. Before I get done, I'm gonna give you the therapeutic value of meditation. So it's all about meditation. Let's go. Rightism, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message and story for life. I'm giving you book knowledge this time to help you along with your meditating process. That's what it's all about today. I'm here to do what I do for you. I give life lessons. You tune in and receiving them. I appreciate you. Let's get down to what we do. Right thinking mission, and that's what I'm on, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinkers way of life through what mental and spiritual discipline when daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, follow my philosophy. Your goal is to know thyself. So I ask the question, do you know you? It's rhetorical, but if you don't have the answer for yourself, tune in. I can help you with that. Excuse me. That's what I do for you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not. It's simple. You teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believes and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself. And to my yacht, be true. I'm going to start off with, how does meditation work? Some people might ask that question. So I'm gonna try to answer that for you right quick. So like a half a page of information. I'm gonna run through that and try to get on to the next lesson. I ain't trying to keep you too long, but I'm trying to get this information to you. So let's go. How does meditation work? Meditation may be thought of or defined as the practice of what? Mental exercises and disciplines to enable you, the meditator, to what? Achieve total control over your mind. Specifically, what? To stop the negative vibration of the mind due to what? An unwanted thoughts. You want to be able to block out the negative thoughts conceptually and imaginations, etc. If you're not in control of what's going on in your head, it's not going to be good. So, this is the purpose of meditation. So, consciousness refers to what? To the awareness of being what? Alive, and of having and what? Identity. The I, the me. That's your identity, is also the ego. That's why it's okay to identify with it, but it's not good to let it run the show. I'm about to explain that to you as we go. It is this characteristic which what? Which separates humans from animal kingdom. I tell you all the time, the Sphinx showing you from man go from a beastly nature, instinctive reaction to what? Conscious level, raise it to a higher level of man where he's what? He's dominant over all the animals. Why? Because he has consciousness. And what's this? Animals, what? Cannot become aware of their own existence, no conscious. And they can ponder no questions such as, who am I? Where am I going in life? Where do I come from? Etc. See where I'm going with that? Animals can't do that. So we are above the animal kingdom because we can. And if we don't learn how to use this thing, the best machine known to man is in man, and it don't come with instructions. But we have teachers, sages, and gurus to help those who want to learn how to do just that. That's what I do for you. Now, when this characteristic that separate. Okay, now they cannot write books or history or create elaborate systems. We know that, or social history based on ancestry, etc. But consciousness, when expressed itself in what? Three modes. These are waking, which we are right now. If you listen to me, you tune in, you'll waking state. Then once we lay down and rest, at the end of the day, it's called the dream sleep. That's when you go and you lay down and your mind takes over and you go into the dream world. And when you're in that dream world, you think it's the real world. So it's not much different than the waking world because 1/3 of your life you're going to spend in that mode and get comfortable to it. Why? Because after the physical body dies, hopefully that's the mode you want to go back into. With matter of fact, it's not that one. That's just the sleep mode. Then the third one is the they call the dream this deep sleep mode. That's when you become unconscious. That's when you go into the realm where you end up in when life is over, hopefully. But I keep telling you, when you're doing that, you're practicing for that. So there's another level to this. And remember, meditation has levels to it, like anything else. Okay? You work from the bottom, you work the way up. I'm gonna take you from the gross element to the subtle element. The body, the physical body is the gross. That's where we are. The subtle element is what? The nervous system, the inside workings, the spirit that's inside the body. And that level of deep sleep we go to, that's the conscious level. That's the subtle self. That's where you go to the casual plane. I'll take it at the next lesson, but that's where we headed. Okay. Understand there's levels to it. Now, however, ordinary human life is only what? Partially conscious. Right. We think because we're conscious in our waking state that we're conscious, just partially. So let me break that down for you. Now, when you're driving, you're in the waking state or walking, you sometimes what? Lose track of the present moment, but then all of a sudden you arrive at your destination without even being conscious or aware of what? The road in which you travel. We've all done it. Okay? That's called auto consciousness. Because you do something, muscle memory, over and over again, your mind just takes over and just going about your business. Again, your mind went into what? It went into automatic mode, which of consciousness. This automatic mode, again, of consciousness represents a temporary withdrawal from what? The waking world. You actually went somewhere else, but your mind stayed focused on the task that it was performing. We call it walking and chewing gum. That means thinking, doing one thing and thinking something else to prepare for something else you want to do while doing one thing. Everybody ain't equipped to do that, so it's a learned behavior. Okay, I learned mine from listening to music and watching TV. I never heard the volume on the TV, but I heard the music and I can pretty much go through the motion with the TV. So doing walking and chewing gum concept. All right, here you go. But where we at? Now this automatic, okay, now this state of mind, this state is similar to what? Daydreaming they call it. When you just zone out for a minute. I call it having a brain freeze, just or I call it zoning out. Okay. A dream like musing or fantasy. Where you go, maybe a thought that maybe click, trick, or something to give you an inspiration or motivate you to something, but you still zoned out. You lost focus on what you was actually doing. So this form of existence is what most people consider as normal, everyday waking consciousness. But it is what people consider to be the extent of what your human capacity to experience, to be, or to be conscious. Yeah, you're aware, you're conscious. Again, you're in the waking state, so you function in the physical body. When the next level, when you lay down, you take your senses out. Now you're dealing with the next level. That's what we go into next. But let me wrap this up. So the normal state of human consciousness cannot be really considered as what whole or complete. Why? Because it is was because if it was, what happened? Watch this. We just talked about automatic consciousness. There would be no experience of what? Lapse or gaps in consciousness. There's no zoning out. There's no doing walking and chewing gum. You're only gonna do one thing at a time. Okay, so in other words, every instant of consciousness would be accounted for if you were totally conscious, and there would be what? No trance-like states, no zoning out, wherein one loses track of time or awareness of what one's activities. Again, if you're driving, you'll be focused on driving. You ain't gonna think about what you're gonna do tonight when you get off work. You ain't gonna think about what you're gonna, none of that. You're gonna stay focused on driving. But even as what they are being performed, you supposed to stay focused on the task at hand. That's what that means. But in times, watch this, in the time of trance or the lapse, full awareness or consciousness is not present. Again, that's the point they're trying to make. Otherwise, what? It would be impossible to not be aware of the passage of time. When you engulfed in what you like to do, you enjoyed it, time don't matter. Understand that. And watch this. The passage of time while engaged in a various activities don't even matter. The trance here should be differentiated from what? The religious, okay, or mystical form of trance, like what? Like state induced through meditation. As used above, it refers to what? The condition of being what? So lost in solitary thought, focus, laser focus, as to be aware of what? One's surrounding. Okay? As to be, oh, excuse me. You so focused on what you're doing, you are unaware of your surroundings. Okay? Now, it may further be characterized as what? A stunned or bewildered condition, a fog, a stupor, befuddlement, dazed, muddled state of mind, again, zoned out. But most everyone has what? Had that experience in this condition at some point in time or another. What people consider to be the awake state of mind in which life is lived is in reality what? Only a fraction of the potential consciousness which human beings can experience. You just use them 1/3. Okay, they tell us we only use 10% of our brain. BS. When you got to focus, meditate, understand what you're doing, you're using more than 10%. Trust me. Use everything you got up here. And you can't break it. You can't overload it. It won't bust out those. No, it's equipped. Trust me. I use it all the time to my best ability. Mm, that's way more than 10%. Trust me. So right quick, let's get this next lesson. I want to get this out the way. I've been looking at this all day. Now, this is a concept, right, of the levels of consciousness. And if you see at the top, that's the infinite par netta, the encompassing all. That's the conscious state that you go to when you go into the moon state, okay, the unconscious. You see the subtler, then subtle, and then the physical body is the gross. I talked about that earlier. Let's go over it right quick, and I'll give you a quick lesson on that one. All right, here we go. It says, understand the process of meditation. Eternity, infinity, forever. That's where Parnetta, the nurture, and the self dwells. That's where it starts. Okay? You have the universal consciousness, meaning he created the universe before he got to us. Okay, already in place. I'll tell you the story about creation. Started with Shu, air, toughen up, moisture. Ra with the sun, let there be. Ra, he's the sun, he's the seen. Amun is the hidden. Now you get down to the elements. Earth, Gab, Newt, heaven. The first spiritual being we know to be, as far as we're concerned, is Asar. Y'all know him as Osiris. Okay, that's the physical body. But they showed you the man right here, the physical guy, the guy sitting there. That's all of us. You see the chakra system. You see the chain, the 7 links on the chain, the socket in the system. Okay, Kundalini. We've been doing that a long time. Okay, but we called it Iraq or Iri. I gave that lesson already. So let's go. Now, this is the highest level of consciousness that you can have. And when you go into that state, you're going back home consciously, so to speak. And this is what y'all deem heaven. Okay, we call it going back to Asar. You go sit on his lap and meld into him, become one with him. And this is called the universal consciousness, and it transcends time. The universe is here before time. It don't depend on time. Okay, transcending time and space, we call the absolute, the all in the Indian concept. Now, time and space, relativity, and we live in the ego consciousness. That's the lowest level, aka hell. It's called a gross and a dull state In order to raise your conscious level, you start out with discontent. You'll set Tanian egoism is suffered from discontent, anger, depression. You are dull in knowledge of self. You have to what? Become conscious, raise the level. Now you are the level of what? Agitation and distraction. And the third level for us is the physical level from the spiritual level, which is Ptah, the self-created one, the physical one who created himself into existence. And he started to exist. He's the physical form. He represents the physical form, the awakened physical plane, which is the gross level we're on right now. And when you show purity by practicing mayat, harmony, and serenity, you're starting to raise your conscious level, okay? And then you become lucid and pure. Speaking Makadu, doing the right things. Now you go to the level what they call subtle, which is expansion of the consciousness. You know, raise your chakra levels going up. Now you had to awaken, lucid, the astral consciousness, which is the nervous system, which is the astral body, they call it, which is inside the physical body. This gets activated. Now you ride, you're on fire. You have light from within. It's shining. And the next level, which they call the casual consciousness, which is the highest level, where Amun, the hidden one, that's where he resides. You have to raise up to him. And that's Amun. They call that the casual plane. And it's the subtlest plane of all. I told you last week, the hidden witness, the conscious, he's inside you. You have to find him. He's hidden, but you have to find him. Where is he? Inside you. Let's go. So I just read you above the relative states of consciousness and the path of meditation. The figure from the ancient Egypt is sitting on the what? The yoga lotus position. That's what the legs cross. I don't do that. I done got too old for that. My body ain't that loose, so I ain't trying that. But it's superimposed what? What's superimposed on him is what? The 7 rings symbolizing what? The 7 chakra centers of the psycho-spiritual energy consciousness, known to us in Egypt as Arat. Everybody's known out of India as Kundalini or chakras. Okay, but in ancient Egypt, the yoga mystical philosophy, through the process, again, it's a process of meditation, a meditator lifts him or herself up where? Beyond ordinary consciousness, meaning lower level, you're rising up, you're rising to come haru. And you discover what? Your transcendental realm, and finally you reach what? The absolute self. That's becoming one with God. Everything is on the one. You go back to that. So at that state of automatic consciousness is characterized by what? Mental distraction, restlessness, and extroversion. If you're an extrovert, you want everything outside of yourself. Everything, you just want stuff. You want to obtain and get and have. That's an extrovert. The automatic state of mind exists due to what? Emotions such as, you ready? Desires, sexual desires, anger, hatred, which what engenders more desires in the mind, and which in turn causes what? More movement and distractions by delusions, and you experience what? Lapse or gaps in your human consciousness. Again, you're not focused. In this condition, this state, it does not matter what? How many desires are fulfilled. Why? The mind will always be distracted and agitated, and will what? Will never discover peace and contentment in life. That's the goal that we should aspire to be at that level in life. And if you're doing the wrong things, you will never get there. It's just that simple. As I said, you'll never obtain that level. Why? You keep doing the wrong thing. But if the mind were under control, here we go. Meaning what? If you were to remain fully aware and conscious and focused of every emotion, feeling, every thought, and have control over your emotions and feelings in your mind at any given time. That means to stay focused, be on point, and no matter what adverse situation, what negative situation or positive happen, maintain your spiritual cool. I told you about that. I explained that to you before. Excuse me. Excuse me. In closing, right thinkers, may you all live to be 100 and me 100 minus a day. So I never know that right thinker like you passed away.